Hey everybody, welcome to week 14. Hey, this week we are going to sort of jump into a topic that in many ways is still playing out to this very day. The geopolitical developments that took place in the United States, and even the militaristic developments and economic developments that took place in the United States following World War II are still very much a part of where we are today. And of course, I'm referring to one of the longest events in U.S. history and world history, and that is the Cold War. We are not going to, by the way, cover the entirety of the Cold War in this one lecture, because the Cold War really began in 1945 and it doesn't end until the 1990s, when the Soviet Union ultimately collapses during the first Bush's administration. So what we are going to do is to try and give an overview of the event, define what it was, talk about America's foreign policy, which at the time was called containment. The idea was not necessarily to eradicate communism, but to contain it in its sphere of influence. And of course, this played out in the United States in a number of ways. And we're going to be focusing on that from about 1945 up to about 1975. Numerous presidents dealt with the Cold War with different types of strategies. At times, the Cold War heated up under certain presidents. And at other times it cooled off, or what we call détente. And so we're going to be looking at this foreign policy, look at the way that it affected the United States culturally, militaristically, economically, the whole range of things, and go through a lot of different events, everything from the Berlin airlift to the space race to the Cuban Missile Crisis to all of that. And so we're going to be looking at that. Now, one thing I will say is that the Cold War is called a Cold War because the United States and the Soviet Union never actually went to battle with each other. But this does not mean that the thing did not heat up at times. And at times it definitely did turn into violence. And you can see this in the Korean War and the Vietnam War. The main reasons why we were in both of these regions was to contain the spread of communism. And so our foreign policy meant that wherever communism was, so the United States would go. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that this week. And of course, you have your discussion board posts, as always. Main post due by Thursday, subsequent post by Sunday, both at 11:59 p.m. And then the other thing that I just want you to start thinking about, because it is beginning to approach, is that you have your second PowerPoint assignment coming up. So please be thinking about that. And, contact me. Let me know what it is you hope to look at, and we can go from there. So if you have questions or comments, let me know, and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, as always, go in peace. Be warm and filled. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and may the odds forever be in your favor. Have a blessed week, guys.